I think this is accurate to what's going on with
thank God.
Hey! He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show.
It was just weird because I was in like a moment ago, and all of a sudden, like, it's like, nope, you're not gonna work.
Yeah. Hey.
All right, there we go.
I just got my active beeper. So we're all set.
Are we drinking? Do we gotta get a drink for this?
Well, yeah, but like I gotta get into like the intro. We're gonna do cold open, which we've already got. I got plenty of information to pull for the cold open, so we'll be good.
Let me just grab the beer from the fridge.
Wait,
I've got to do that too, actually. Let me get that. Hold on.
Okay.
Hello. You better grow eyes in the back of your head, you horned piece of shit, because I'm not gonna sleep until worms are crawling up your foam rubber ass. I'm going on safari, Safari.
Welcome to Noble Thoughts by Idiots, a show about board games, movies, video games, and anything in between. We don't take ourselves seriously, and neither should you. Now sit back, relax, and prepare to walk the plank of the depths of our minds. I'm your host, Captain Bales, joined always by my faithful crew, fellow podcaster and longtime friend, Ripley Goose, and me brother from the same mother, who we affectionately call Shmee. How you two doing tonight?
Good, sir. How are you?
Outstanding.
I am very good. We get to talk about a movie that we had, at least from Shmee and I's childhood, I had some pretty good memories of. Is that how you remember it?
All those good memories are gone after watching it.
All those good memories. Yeah, I will say. Yeah. I don't think I ever watched this movie in its entirety. I always saw it on Comedy Central. But while we're at it, before we get to tonight's main event, what have you two been up to?
You know, snapping necks and cashing checks.
Nice. Okay. You care to elaborate that, or are we just gonna assume you're a murderer?
If I tell you, I have to kill you.
Sounds accurate.
I've been getting out with the other half. We've been going to visit and socialize other people lately.
That's good.
We've also have actually been on a couple new movie binges. We actually watched that new movie, Dune. That was pretty good.
I want to see that. Tell me it was good.
I'm like a half hour into
good.
it.
It was good? Is that like,
yes.
I hear it's got a phenomenal cast in it.
Oh, it is. It's a who's who.
I saw The Green Knight, and I'm glad I watched that one by myself.
Is that bad? No.
It's not bad. It's like Pan's Labyrinth, but it's artsy.
Oh, no, it's bad.
So it's kind of dark. Wait, is Guillermo del Toro the director?
Guillermo?
No.
Oh, no.
It's artsy like that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, that kind of wasn't sure where
I did want to
was
see
with
that.
one.
Well, I'm happy that Bond just came out on video on demand, so I'm gonna watch that this weekend. I'm interested in seeing that. Damn, I think it's called The Last Duel.
Yes,
with Affleck.
Ridley Scott.
Yeah,
Ridley Scott directs that.
I love those types of movies. Though. Maybe that's my bias, but
yeah,
Ridley Scott does a fantastic job on his films. So
yeah,
I will say we're back in it. There are movies and a ton of them to get to.
I've told you, and this is my complaint, and will always be my complaint until it goes back to normal. I want early morning showings at theaters until like 9 o'clock.
Not
gotta go to work
in the morning.
It's not a matinee, it's breakfast.
Exactly. Well, first of all, that's awesome at the Movie Tavern. Not a sponsor. Hey, what's up?
True.
Second of all, I just like going to a movie, getting out at like 11 o'clock, and having your day.
That's true. It is nice to be able to watch a brand new movie at a theater.
And there's
if you're
no
at the movie
crowd.
tower. Yeah, and then be able to have the rest of your day. I could get behind that.
Oh, I can get behind a lot of things.
Well, I will say there's Carnage. Like, I gotta get to that.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Like, and the Eternals just dropped. So, yeah, there's a ton of movies, and I'm happy we're back in it. So, tonight we're gonna be reviewing a classic from, I believe, 1991.
Yeah.
And
Year of
this
our Lord.
is the movie Nothing But Trouble, starring Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Demi Moore as the headliners.
Dentimore?
Denty Moore Stew.
Not a sponsor.
But before we
it could
actually
be.
get to the movie, let us... Where is it? So, what are we drinking tonight? Gentlemen, starting with Shmee, what do you be drinking?
So I have a friend that dropped this off at my house. It's called Purple Haze. It's a raspberry lager. I've tried it before. It's all right, but now I have like all this stuff in the fridge.
So, it tastes like crap, but you know what? It's
I gotta get rid
available.
of it. Is that made by Voodoo something?
Nah, it's Abita Brewing, whoever that is.
Oh yeah, they're out of New Orleans. I've had those down there. They're good. Well, at least one of them. I don't know about drinking multiple.
I was at my wife's father-in-law the other day, and he got me purple. I gotta remember this. Purple Monkey Dishwasher Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout. It sounds terrible, but it's actually really good. It's
I didn't think
tasty.
you liked stouts.
I do actually, which is surprising because I didn't always. But I will say that if you ever get a chance, try one out. It's a purple can, but it's.
I'd like to know how much drugs he was on when he like named that.
Yeah.
Like, what are you?
Oh yeah.
What are you gonna name it? I got this. Purple Monkey Super Voodoo Monkey.
Hear me out. This is like.
I want all the Coke. My dealer thought it was a good idea, man.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing where like they got like
Whoa. Hear me out, boys. Purple Monkey Dishwasher Chocolate Peanut Butter Stout. Suck on that.
Brilliant.
Get
But
out there.
with
Do
that,
meth, kids.
Goose, what do you be drinking?
Appropriately, my go-to. It's the Goose Island IPA.
Ah, very nice. Well,
Yeah,
I
sounds great.
am drinking the Corona Extra so that I will be...
Oh, you're...
And this is my last one of the case, I think, so it'll work out. So you guys ready to open up your bottles?
Yep. No relation to coronavirus, by the way.
No
Not
relation.
sponsored by Corona.
They're kicking back, man. They took a
Okay.
hit during Corona. It's still going, but they're kicking
Are
back.
you doing the countdown? You just opening it?
No, countdown. 3, 2, 1.
Ow, my hand!
Hey, I didn't douse my computer. Progress
That's
has
good.
been made.
I gotta learn how to open these with my eyes.
You know, this
What the hell is Mikhail's Navy?
this is where somebody's gonna try this, and they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, there's so much blood! Somebody
Yo.
call an ambulance now!"
How'd
I
you lose
can't-
your eye?
I can't watch those videos of people opening bottles with their teeth.
Oh, yeah, it would be bad. There's blood everywhere. Yeah. Hey, can I get another beer? Okay. All right. So with that, we will jump into
Wait, sidebar.
sidebar.
Remember that German commercial that's always on the internet where the lady is cracking nuts with her posterior? Her derriere?
I'm gonna have to tell you that no, I'm not
It's
familiar
always-
with this. And now
it's
I'm
always
gonna
on
have to
the,
look
like-
this up.
It's always on like the most infamous commercials ever.
Well, I
beer
haven't
commercial.
watched this in a while. I'll have
Beer
to watch
commercial
that.
with someone opening a beer bottle
All right.
with
All
their.
right. So. Yeah. Okay.
That was always the greatest fear of just that woman that just works out so much that it just snaps off. Okay. Anyway,
Marketing.
Marketing, my friends. Marketing.
Probably wouldn't pass today, I guess, huh?
Yes. Okay, so we will start the tale of what nothing but trouble is. A financier agrees to take a lawyer to her business meeting. On the way, they turn and run a stop sign in a small town in the middle of nowhere and are arrested. But all is not as it seems. The courthouse and the prison are a maze of zany booby traps and deadly contraptions. The antics of the captured couple as they try to escape from the mad judge and his bizarre family make up the rest of this unusual film. Now, going for hot takes, did both of you see this movie before?
I've seen it in the past with you.
Yeah.
I've seen bits and pieces when it would be on Comedy Central, like after school or something like that back in the day. But I've never seen the whole thing in one sitting.
And that's what I'll say, as much as I remember, is that Comedy Central is where I think I always saw this. Is that how you remember, Shmee?
Well, yeah, because, I mean, look, I don't think this movie was a big budget movie, and it was probably something that can fill time slots. So, of course, I'm pretty sure Comedy Central ran this for that reason.
Ran this to the ground. No, it was on, like, yeah, you come home from school or something, and it would always be on.
Yeah. Like that 4 o'clock time slot or something?
Oh, yeah. Actually, it had an estimated budget to be somewhere in the 40 mil range.
What?
But unfortunately, because if you realize, at the time when this movie was made, Dan Aykroyd, he was on SNL, and he had had a couple hits, under his belt, so people were more than happy to give him money, because they knew he was he put asses in seats, as they would say.
Well, I mean, yeah, 1941, Ghostbusters, Blues Brothers. I mean, this is actually the first...
1941?
1941. The movie with John Belushi and Dan Aykroyd in it.
Oh, I thought you were saying that was the... Sorry.
Yeah.
No.
I'm an idiot.
Sorry, 1941, the movie, just to clarify. But, yeah, Dan Aykroyd was actually involved in a lot of those projects. Now, this is the first time... Now, ironically, this is the first time and the last time that he would direct a movie, a major motion picture that's not a documentary.
Yeah, but here's the thing. You did know that it's interesting you say that, because he didn't actually want to direct this film. Because if you realize, in this is the first and only time he directed, and he didn't want to, but he knew he had to do it in order to close the deal, because they couldn't find any directors to actually opt to do it. I think Robert Zemeckis possibly, or who's the one who does the Pretty in Pink and Breakfast
Hughes?
Club? Yes, John Hughes was offered the script to direct, and he turned it down, which I thought was interesting. But when the production company came to him, he knew he was acting, he was starring, producing, writer, and then lastly he is producing, and they made him and he's like, I'll direct too. So he was like a nervous wreck actually for this movie in certain times, because if you realize, you guys,
pressure.
Well, it's a ton of pressure. I mean, he was, like I said, he was successful on SNL, but he had to show, a company gives you a big amount of money, you don't want to have a flop. Now,
Well, I also have another interesting fact. Maybe it's because of how the movie was received, and I'm assuming that's a fact. But I believe this is the last movie that these stars either... I can't remember if it was either this was the last movie, like, they were in together, or last movie in where, like, they had no, essentially, commercial, theatrical success after this movie. So it's, like, almost cursed.
Okay, so when you're saying, can you elaborate on that? Are you saying that they didn't have any success after this film?
Yeah, because I'm gonna disagree.
Yeah, I was gonna. Well, I'm just.
Yeah, because I got Chevy Chase on the. Like, okay, I mean actors that are part of the film. Let's go over Chevy Chase, Dan Aykroyd, John Candy, Demi Moore. I mean.
So, well, okay, that could be possible. You know, well, that's what
that is what I found in my research.
Okay.
So Demi Moore went on to do things like Striptease, G.I. Jane. She was the main bad guy in Charlie's Angels. Like, she's pretty successful in her outright. I mean, you could say
Married to Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
That's
John
not really
Candy
fame.
passed away. You know, like I'm not gonna say that's because of this movie. He passed away years, later. But and then Chevy Chase was an angry a-hole all along, from what I've heard.
Apparently, that's just the way he is, though.
Yeah, he's not really a good
a
person in real life.
That sucks. I mean, how much does that suck when you're like
I feel like the. What is it? Christmas Vacation, when he's like looking over and driving and just gives someone the finger. Like, I feel like that's his actual personality. He's just a complete dick.
He is, because I have a couple of friends that go to like New York, and they actually have like the like sometimes the actors go on stage and they talk or whatever. He got a chance to meet Chevy Chase. He said he was a complete dick.
That's like. I used to really like the idea of Chevy Chase. Like, I actually watched Community that he was on. And I heard that he wasn't really great on that show as far as, like, behind the scenes.
No. Interesting fact, according to IMDb, during production, Chevy Chase would, at times, call up various co-stars at night after filming, apologizing for what he perceived to be his stressed behavior.
Like, that he was apologizing for his behavior?
He was apologizing for being a dick during filming.
Okay. He's just kind of kept that up throughout the years, I guess.
I guess.
Like, if he's an a-hole on set, and then he can be like, like, he had an outburst where he... Okay, so here, just a little background behind here. Because this was Dan Aykroyd's first time directing, he actually asked the crew for a lot of help. But he had some of the best cinematographers and assistant directors and all the different production people. Like, he had a big budget, for the time of what he had, and the best personnel to pull this movie off. Because the thing that was crazy about this movie is, you would think like they would use CG or anything. This movie was entirely practical for the both like the bulk of the movie. There were only 2 matte painting scenes. Like, one where they're trying to show you, they use a matte painting to actually show to make it look like the junkyard was enormous. Okay? And there was one other, like a horizon scene. But everything in this film was practical. So for the junkyard mass of itself, they actually went to like, you ever hear of the show American Pickers, for example? So they actually, something along those lines, these guys went out to a farmer who was a hoarder. He kept on, like, old vehicles, all this old stuff. So when the film production site saw this, they bought everything. I mean, the guy made out really, really well. Like, they bought everything from his lot. And so what they did is, they then threw it into compactors and destroyed it, and they actually, like, crushed a lot of the stuff, cut a lot of the vehicles in half. So the idea is that they've been doing this for over 100 years and been you remember that one scene where they're in the attic and you start to see the names and licenses. So this was how they were able to convey practical set of the garbage dump, right? But on top of that, you know how they had like all the contraptions, like the lift that lowered him down into his when he was doing his sentencings, and the roller coaster through the through the house. They really did that. Like, they bought a old roller coaster, like $30K, I think. They just went to the finance department and like, give me $30,000, and they went and bought this old roller coaster and to build the Bone Stripper. The crew absolutely loved Dan Aykroyd because he let them be as creative as they wanted, and he would actually encourage people to come up with to him and like talk like, hey, I was thinking about, like, one guy's like, I'm thinking about this roller coaster, or another one's like, what if we had a moving wall that like had a thing, or and he would be like, yeah, do it. And so they would literally, but the problem was the studio realized they were bleeding money, like, so, and they kept on trying to rein him in. But at the time, the studio, the reason why this movie kind of got, let's say, swept to the side, and the studio didn't quite see them, to spending all the money, is that they had another film that they were dealing with, and to be honest, I can't remember it, but it was a commercial failure.
A couple of more facts about this. It was filmed on the same lot as High Noon, so it was an old Western that they used for like the set of Valkenvania.
Okay.
But what they did to make it look not like a Western, they painted a yellow line down the road, and they said they used as little lighting as possible, so you couldn't see that there were like old Western buildings.
Huh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, and to back up my previous claim, according to IMDb, this movie, for the careers of the three comic leads that were big movie stars in the 80s, they lost their success ever since. Chevy Chase had a couple of hits with Man of the House in 95, Vegas Vacation 97, but neither one were huge hits, and his other 90s movies bombed.
Okay, I can agree with like the Chevy Chase thing. Like, I don't think he had like
Dan Aykroyd. You didn't really hear from him after. Coneheads maybe. I don't know when that was filmed.
Dan Aykroyd had a bunch of different films after that.
He's good supporting role. He's in. I was gonna say, I know I pronounce you Chuck and Larry, but you get the idea. No. Like,
he's been a side character in a lot of things.
But he's great. I actually really like Dan Aykroyd, and he's a good. He's not like Chevy Chase, kind of thing.
Yeah. And John Candy died 3 years later.
Was it? I couldn't tell the year.
Yeah, it was 94 is when he died, but yeah, so like
that's a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like he was a great. I would say, and Demi Moore's been, like I said, she's been really consistent and everything. But it was kind of crazy getting all those were some big. They were like big names for their time.
Oh yeah, for
sure. Another thing I thought was interesting in my review is are you guys looking at the OneNote by chance? So Shmi, based on your comment earlier, you said that this movie was almost like a documentary. Do you care to elaborate on that?
No, not this being a documentary. I said that his other film that he did was a documentary.
Okay.
He did like a UFO documentary or something like that.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to...
We're talking about Dan Aykroyd. No, this film... No, if I was going to compare it to anything, I think this is honestly, I think that House of a Thousand Corpses is a remake of this movie.
Okay. Here's the thing. Okay. Okay. Well, the reason when you said a documentary, the reason what I thought you were alluding to, and I'm not sure if either of you came across this in your research, but this movie is actually a conglomerate of different events that occurred to Dan Aykroyd. That's how he came across. So
yeah, I did hear about this.
He actually was driving down to like Atlantic City or somewhere. He kept on traveling between when he was on SNL. I guess he lived on a farm, and he was still traveling between the farm and then New York City and going back and forth all the time, right? So he was driving, and he actually, in so doing, he sped through an area, and he got a ticket, a speeding ticket, okay? But it was late at night, like I'm talking like 10, 12 o'clock at night kind of deal. And he just wanted to pay the ticket and be done, right? But the thing was that the police officer or the authority that pulled him over actually
took him to a JOP.
It took him, yeah, I guess just to the peace, right? But it was like, they're like, I'll wake the judge, and it literally was like an old little little mansion thing. You kind of homage to what you see now. The one in the movie is very much drastically bigger, but it was an older looking building. And the lady came down, and she was like an older individual. Was like, but and he was so like, it was such an oddity that she not only gave him, the ticket, and he paid it, at the place, but at the same time, she was like, afterwards, she's like, would you like some tea and crumpets? And so, out of curiosity, he actually inclined and stayed, and heard her story. So then he wrote it into his story. And that's, the other thing was, did it ever occur to you, Shmi, after watching this, I don't know why, but I never thought of where this is supposed to be located when I was
Jersey.
younger. Right?
Yeah, Jersey,
but did
New
you
York
know
is-
that
Yeah,
at the time?
it's well, I mean, when you're
They say
younger,
it.
you're not really paying attention to that.
I wasn't-
Now
yeah,
that we're
that's the
older,
thing.
we're like, oh look, it's New Jersey.
Yeah, well, exactly. I'm like, I don't know. For some reason, I always thought this was like European or something over there. I couldn't tell. But the other thing that stuck out to me was like, did you guys notice the first 5 to 10 minutes that a certain landmark is not around anymore? It was in the
Twin
movie.
Towers.
Yeah.
It's that's in every like 90s shot of New York City though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's like it's
The establishing
impressive looking at
shot
now.
of
Yeah.
the city. Oh look, the Twin Towers are in it. Yes, it's sad.
Well,
You know where you are.
Yeah.
to set us, speaking of setting us back in time, Goose has done a little research to give us more of the mindset of what 1991, the
This
year,
day
looked
in
like.
history of 1991, 20 is it 20 years? No, 30 years ago. Holy crap!
Oh, jeez. That's
Oh my God.
for you.
No, you know how everything at our age, everything's like, oh yeah, 20 years ago, and like you still think that's like the 70s.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's, let's
That
just
I'm
say...
sorry that fact that always blows my mind. From the premiere of the 70s show, from the time where it's supposed to take place, it's
Yeah.
further away from the premiere of the 70s show to today.
Wow. Wait. Say that one more time?
So
It's-
from the premiere of the 70s show, which I think was 98,
Okay.
that period of 98 to the year it was supposed to take place in,
Yeah.
like something in the mid 70s.
Yeah.
That time period is shorter than the time period from the day the show premiered to today.
Ah, God. Okay. Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. That's,
So anyway,
I'm old. Okay, keep going.
in 1991,
yes, I was 8 years old.
I was
8, 9.
4.
That's 4. Yeah. 8.
Yeah, I was 8 years
19.
old when that film came out.
91. Minimum wage in the United States of America. OVE, I guess. OVE. Was $4.25 an hour.
Wow. Okay.
The price of a Nissan Maxima, which is like, right now they're probably like mid $30,000 ish. The price of that car in 1991 was $16,999.
Okay.
World population was 5,304,000,000 people. Life expectancy for males 72 years, females 78.9 years.
For context, isn't today somewhere in the 80s?
Yeah, I think it's low 80s, but it's gone back in the past 2 years, obviously, because
Just because of COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
yeah. Big movies that year: Terminator 2: Judgment Day,
Ooh.
Great
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and Beauty
Kevin
and the Beast.
Costner.
Another great movie.
Going off that Robin Hood movie, it produced the biggest song of the year, "Everything I Do for You" by Bryan Adams.
My wife loves that song.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Everything I do,
Not my
I
wife.
do it for you.
Yeah.
That song from Robin Hood?
Yeah, it's the main song off the soundtrack for that.
Oh.
I know
Okay.
that's from memory, so
Okay.
fact check me. But
No, that's fine.
99% sure that's from the soundtrack. Another couple of pointless things. The Twins, Minnesota Twins, won the World Series that year. New York Giants won the Super Bowl. Chicago Bulls won the basketball championship, and the NHL champions were the Penguins.
Hey, just to hold that thought, just as a context, you know the twins in here, like Bobo and Bebop or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
You know one of them was Dan Aykroyd, right?
Yeah.
And you have to realize, you know how he had a ton of pressure as being both director, producer, and so forth? He had to be reviewing footage while dressed up as Bobo. But that suit was not comfortable. It was hot. It was uncomfortable. So imagine being the director and being like looking over video footage, and you're like in this like really essentially fat suit. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of.
You know, I'm going to say this. Like, so I actually had 3 additional souls that watched this movie with me today, and we all regret it.
You all
regret it.
what?
I had
it?
4. Yeah, there was 4 people with that we, including myself, we all watched it today, and we made a thing of it. I made popcorn. We all watched it.
Nice.
There was, yeah. They had to make up for it afterwards because we watched Anchorman after the movie. But
Palate cleanser.
the funny thing is, there's a couple scenes that were just really disturbing that they wish they could have cut out. And I asked them honestly, I'm like, all right, so I don't think the film is the greatest, but I gotta say, were there any scenes that you would think you would remove and you would think you'd be able to like save the film somewhat? The 2 big things the 2 takeaways that we got from that, and I'll give you their synopsis of what they said. Mm-hmm. And I kind of agree, but the cringy dinner scene.
Yes. But that's...
Okay, so
feels
there's
like
a little
vital.
context here.
yes. Okay, sorry.
Go ahead. What you got, Goose? I want to hear what you think.
I got 2 things. Just one more thing from this
Yeah,
day in
continue
history.
your 9 before we get
No,
sidetracked.
I super interesting. This is my last fact. 1991, fall of the Soviet Union, right?
Okay.
Cosmonaut Sergei Kirkorov, launched
Very nice.
into space as a Soviet citizen, but returned to Earth as a Russian citizen because he was in space and in orbit when the Soviet Union dissolved.
Oh my gosh. Okay, put yourself in the perspective of being that guy, okay?
Yeah, are they gonna find me?
Yeah, you're like, mission command, are we good?
They got bigger stuff to worry about.
Comrade, we have problems. You know, good luck
What do you
out
mean
there.
you're not coming to get me?
Yeah, exactly. Woo!
There's bear.
Yeah, like exactly. You start
The
hearing
bear
like
bear.
freaking sounds.
I'm running out of vodka. This is not good.
You know, side note on those capsules that they launched up in their Russian, space program. Since they live primarily in like Siberia and stuff like that, where it's possible for the space capsule to come down, they always provide them with a gun, like a heavy caliber
rifle or
gun,
something.
because they have, there's bears and everything where it's very likely they will run into one. Just side note on that. But continue, Shmi. You had points to say, right?
Yeah, so as I said, I have the other people watching with me. Their general consensus of what they told me that they would like to not have witnessed was, and this is the reason why I brought it up, the cringy dinner scene and the 2 twins, including Bobo.
That belly
They
thing?
were really disturbed. I'm just going to say, they were really disturbed by the fat twins in the movie.
I will say that's the thing I remember from this movie. Those twins, seeing how they like stomp their feet and their bellies were like up and down, but they no Bobo. If I win, I get Diana or whatever. It's like her freaking. What was her?
Yeah, sadly, they told me that they can't get that time back. They can't get that hour and a half that they forced to watch the movie, and they can never get that fucking image out of their mind.
Oh, so that kitchen, not the kitchen scene, the
Dinner?
Yeah, the dinner scene, they built a custom table just to film with that choo-choo train that was going through.
Choo-choo train.
And that was
otherwise
like,
known as the gravy train.
Come on the train, the choo-choo train. But I will say, they had so much work put into that desk. I think that was another like $10K. You know, and it was just somebody came with Dan Aykroyd and was like, "Hey, I have this idea for like a choo-choo train that serves food." And I think the guy had like a personal experience with it, and Dan was like, "Sure, let's build it," and he just did. So going back to the point, the crew loved Dan Aykroyd because he empowered them to become creative and do all these different things, right? But one day, Chevy Chase, being Chevy Chase, he had like a freaking tantrum on set, and he started yelling at like Dan Aykroyd and he's like, "I'm more paid here than you. The studio thinks I'm more important. I'm getting $5 million. You're getting not that," like that. And because the crew loved him, the crew almost beat up Chevy Chase. Like, some guy was like, "I'm going to take a brick to your friggin' head if you talk to him like that again." Like, they actually really, really did support Dan Aykroyd because he supported them.
Also proving that Chevy Chase is a dick.
Yes, pretty much, very definitively.
By the way, I was doing additional research on the movie, and it never occurred to me. You know the drug dealers they pulled over right before the
dinner scene? Go ahead.
They said, and their theory is that the hot dogs they were eating,
that's what I meant to bring up.
Of the people that went through Mr. Bone Crusher, Mr. Bone Stripper.
Bone Stripper.
Just to kind of give a synopsis of what we're talking about to the audience that's kind of a little bit lost. But hopefully you've seen the film. If not, okay, fine. If you're inspired to go see the film at least once, I mean, you're more powered to do it. But, so basically, we talked about the small little town. Anybody who passes through the town, any kind of violation whatsoever, what's the name of the place again? Valgavania?
Yeah, I believe so.
They take their justice of the peace very seriously in their judgments, and they're a little bit extreme as far as their sentencing. So if you, like, for example, you did drugs or whatever, some of that, you don't come out of it with a misdemeanor or whatever. You just die.
You get sent to the bone stripper and turned into a hot dog that they eat. I never picked up on that in the original watching. Did you, Shmi?
Here's what I will say. I kind of suspected watching it now. That's where I kind of thought they were going with it. Because that's the only thing that would make sense. How would they get the meat for the sausage?
I mean, it makes sense now, but back then I never did.
No,
never
back
put
then,
two and two together.
No, I wasn't putting that together. I didn't put together that it was in Jersey. I wasn't even paying attention to it. It was just a set location for me. Same thing with the food. No, I didn't pick up on that. So, now that I'm adult and I'm able to comprehend stuff, I'm like, yep, that's probably the bodies.
Yeah.
Made
so.
from them.
Something I thought you would appreciate is, the cover of Nothing But Trouble, right? It's the three actors and the actress, right? And then it has like a little bird. What's disappointing is I actually found out that there was actually a matte painting like they did originally with the intro that looked like almost like, how like films have that like style like Spaceball, they have a really nice, cool poster, and they never chose to use it. And I actually think would have actually helped more people get the movie versus just Nothing But Trouble and the four actors. Like the whole, instead of, if you see at the bottom where they have like the bird and the building, that was actually the main focus there were no actors. They had more of
I
a
heard.
vacation style, National Lampoon's like vacation style look. Which got
I heard the theatrical poster for the movie was actually a big kind of like it prevented the movie from getting as many views as
because they didn't see the actors, right?
it was very bland and boring and yeah,
something along those lines. That may have been. It's like really cool art actually. After I looked at it, but it doesn't have any real focus of who the actors are.
Right.
Hey, so while I am looking at it, speaking of the actors, so the one thing that we did notice is, if you know, the Digital Underground make an appearance in this movie, and at the time, Digital Underground was pretty big. Mm-hmm. And if you know it, and I didn't notice, but it was a very young, and 5 years before his passing, Tupac Shakur was in this. Did you guys pick up on that?
Yeah, I noticed him
When I was 8, no.
And I did not either.
for what like I obviously know what he looks like now. Like I was never a big fan of him, so you know it was just like I don't know.
Yeah, it was weird to like. I picked up on that, and Shock G, which was the Humpty Hump, the guy with the like fake prosthetic nose.
Yeah, he just died this year.
Really?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he died
died
in
of
2021. Yeah.
Oh, that was him.
Died of fentanyl overdose.
That was
Actually,
only like a month or two ago.
I did not realize that he died just this year. I thought he. Oh man. Yeah, he was 57 years old.
Yep.
So there's that. The other one is the Brazilian couple that you had in there for. I actually thought, yeah, Taylor Negron was the main guy. He actually passed away back in 2015. And
He was a super
57.
strong character actor, like back in the 80s and early 90s, wasn't he?
Well, yeah,
'Cause I remember
yeah.
seeing him so much.
I saw him in a bunch of stuff. They actually, Dan Aykroyd let the Brazilians ad-lib a lot of their lines, so nothing was, a lot of it was made up on their
Can you
part.
imagine getting the script and just ad-lib? What?
Yeah. Well, I will say, if you noticed, so there was a Baldwin brother in this movie of the couple of the people that speed down and pull a gun on John Candy's character. Mm-hmm. That was the Daniel Baldwin, which is fame, born in 1960. But they are sent off to the bone. Yeah, that was the guy, the one that pulled the gun. It was. Now I will say a little anecdote is that like when I saw that Baldwin brother, I was like, well, Dad and I actually met a Baldwin, like in person, face to face. Do you know this, Smee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we went to Comic-Con, it was like the first year ever. Dad comes home from a flight and he's like, "Hey, I just got back from the airport and they had this thing like Comic-Con. Is that something you know?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do this!" And it was my birthday, so he's like, he took me, and this was like Philadelphia Comic-Con, so it's still like pretty decent size, and they had a ton of celebrities there. We didn't have tickets pre-ordered, so we literally like, I'm talking like this had to be 2008 or 9, somewhere in that range. And he basically just takes me to the airport. And we go to the airport, and we're walking through, and they have like signs for like Adam West. I mean, literally, Adam West was there. Like, I walked right past him, like in front of his face. I actually took a photo of him, but apparently I found later I wasn't supposed to do that. But I had a really crappy phone anyway, so it didn't matter. So, but I remember walking because Jean-Luc Picard, like of Star Trek fame, was there too. And this was during the World Cup. And the World Cup was going on, and he steps out in his like English, team, and everybody was like, "Ooh," kind of thing. But I very vividly remember there was two guys that were like, "Yeah, I saw Adam West, but he's a dick. He wouldn't let me take his photo." And I remember looking at my phone, going, Yeah, I got one. But going back to the
That'll
Baldwin
be
brother,
$162.
going back to
Seriously.
the Baldwin brother that Dad and I saw, we were walking and we saw this plaque that says Stephen Baldwin of Biodome fame, if that one rings anybody's bells.
Yeah, he's the blonde. He's actually what's the film with Kaiser Soze? Usual Suspects.
Usual Suspects, Biodome, Flintstones, Viva Rock Vegas, and Fred Claus. That's what he's kind of known for. But the thing was, Dad and I are staying there, and we're like, Baldwin. We're like, we know that name. And all of a sudden, he emerges from beneath the plaque. I mean, he's like 2 feet in front of us. Like, he's looking us in the face. And my dad and I were so like we were kind of, because he emerged and I swear he had just done a line of cocaine or something. But no, I'm not kidding, because he stands up and he's like, hey, like that's how he said it in such a way that he looked like he was on something. And Dad and we were like, and we just kind of walked by. We just kept walking because we were stopped there, and it was just funny. Really funny stuff. I will say, so I'm gonna play a little game, just to let you know, of Chevy Chase. When you're on IMDb, you look at a person, it always lists the 4 movies that they're known for, okay? So, I want you guys to take a guess. Of Chevy Chase, what 4 movies do you think he's known for?
Christmas Vacation. I'll go with Christmas Vacation is definitely one.
Yeah.
That is one.
The only other one that occurs to me is Vegas Vacation.
I'd probably go with that first.
Oh,
Lampoon's
Caddyshack.
Vacation.
No, he's not Caddyshack.
You're right. I'm gonna give you
No.
that one. It's Caddyshack. You're right.
Caddyshack. No.
Okay.
It's Tim.
I've never
So you
seen
got
that.
2, and then I will say that you're very. It's not Christmas Vacation, but there's another vacation in there.
It's the National Lampoon's Vacation. It's the first one.
Correct. Okay, and then the last one, which I'm not sure if you're gonna get. Shmee, I know you know this one.
Spies Like Us.
No.
Man of the House?
What was it?
Man of the House? Or something
No.
like that?
I will give you.
Beethoven.
No, he's in Beethoven?
Wait, is that the same guy? Hold on.
No, that's a totally different director.
It's not the same guy. Okay, gotcha.
I will say that the actor that he was also with was one of a 3-pair Steve Martin.
Oh.
No.
That's not it.
No. I know what you're talking about.
That's not a movie.
No, Three Amigos.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Which I kind of want to watch Three Amigos again, see how it holds up.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, I mean we could throw that in the list someday. Dan Aykroyd, what you got?
I'm gonna say Ghostbusters, definitely.
Blues Brothers.
Okay. Yep, you got 2.
Coneheads?
1941.
No. So I'm actually going to give these to you because you basically go in circles. He's known for. You said Ghostbusters 1,
Ghostbusters 2.
Ghostbusters 2. You said Blues Brothers, but you didn't say the sequel.
Oh, what's that movie with Eddie Murphy? What the hell's the movie?
Trading Places.
Trading Places.
Yeah, but it's actually. But they actually have Ghostbusters 1 and 2 and Blues Brother 1 and 2 for him.
God, they considered
Really?
a second one.
Yeah, like Blues Brothers 2000, I guess you would say.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
Okay, moving on. John Candy.
Uncle Buck.
Yes.
So Uncle Buck. I'm gonna go
Home Alone.
Trains, planes, and automobiles.
Correct. And it is not Home Alone, but that's
Damn
a good guess.
All right.
But think of what he's the main actor in.
Canadian Bacon.
Blues Brothers?
Yes. Blues Brothers. Yes, you were right.
I'm a one-track person.
And you got 1 left. Well, I'm gonna give you some hints. It's a genre. It's a movie. It's your favorite. It's a parody of your favorite. One of your favorite John.
Spaceballs.
Yes. There you go.
Barf.
Yes, that is correct. And the last character we will be doing tonight, Demi Moore.
G.I. Jane.
Yeah, that's the first one I was going with.
Yes.
Striptease.
You believe it or not, no.
I don't even know what else she's in, to be honest.
I figured this one would be kind of hard because I don't remember. Let's say, I'll give you some hints. They're using a pottery tool.
Ghost.
Yes, okay. I was gonna it's a dick. Okay, and then in this one, she plays the bad guy against 3 other individuals. Yes, correct.
What is it?
Charlie's Angels. Full Throttle, the second.
I don't
one,
remember.
actually.
I've seen that movie. I saw it when it first came out, on DVD, but I don't remember anything about that except for Drew Barrymore and the.
And
Lucy
I
Liu?
would be absolutely shocked if you knew the 4th one because I don't recognize it at all. And I'm just gonna say it. It's Indecent Proposal, and I don't know what that is.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
There's
So-
an interesting cameo. So those are the 4 main guys, but I do want to say Brian Doyle Murray. Every single time he comes up, I go, "That's the mayor from Ghostbusters."
True.
He's
Very
got the
true.
guy with the mustache. I'm like, I know him. He was also the bad guy, and he was also the boss inside Christmas Vacation.
The other thing of this being almost like a documentary or collage of everything of Dan Aykroyd's life going through is obviously the Justice of the Peace, which is Dan Aykroyd's character in here, is based on his speeding ticket experience. The other thing was that it's based in New Jersey, which is where he was constantly traveling between New York and New Jersey. And lastly is that towards the end of the film when they get out, right? And they are able to escape on the train, and they go back and bring back enforcement,
The FBI.
right?
Yeah,
Did
look
you
into the
guys
matter.
suspect that to be, did you think something was up before the end, or did you guys remember that?
I did because that's one of the only parts I ever caught when I saw it on TV.
Of him, running through the wall, Bugs Bunny style kind of thing?
Yeah. From the point where the judge opens the door and they're like, and all the cops or the police and the detectives are like, "Hey, judge."
Yeah, exactly. And actually, he based the whole part where, the place was on top of a fire, like a coal fire. He based it on Centralia, Pennsylvania, through his experiences.
Okay,
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
that makes sense.
Yeah, which, yeah.
I do want to say something. This film could have been better, I think, with the removal of some scenes, and also, if you actually notice towards the end of the movie, it seemed like it kept going. After
They
the
didn't know
movie,
how to end it.
Yeah, that I kind of think kind of destroyed the film as a piece, but they were trying to fill the hour and a half time slot.
Right.
If they're trying to just make because you have to have a minimum amount of time. It just seems like they were stretching towards the end to keep the thing going, and I think that it could have been so much better if they actually would have just cut certain scenes and just kept it as a good film, and not so much adding some cringeworthy stuff. There were some obnoxious things in there, what was it, that nose and
dick
oddly
nose?
shaped
Okay,
nose?
that's a true thing. It was a dick prosthetic. It was intentionally made to look like a dick. So, take that tidbit of information with you.
Yeah, because if you actually watch the first 38 minutes of the film, it's actually a decent film all the way up to that, and it just once it gets to the house.
Once Dan Aykroyd's introduced,
Well, actually, that's funny. You guys think that? I think the complete opposite. I think the first 30, 40 minutes is a snooze fest. There's nothing to do. When they actually get to the house and all the oddities happen, the roller coaster, the bone stripper, the wall collapsing in, the guana room, and and the Humpty Hump band showing up, and the Bimbo twins or whatever it was, the Bobo, like that's where it becomes an interesting film. It is doesn't mean that it's
the Bobo
not
twins.
disturbing. Like it is a little
the
disturbing.
The dinner scene needs to go.
What you'll like is that, according to the IMDb, those twins are loosely based, just like everything in this film is loosely based on like something that happened to Dan Aykroyd. He supposedly knew two people that were like so overweight they weren't like able to get in the house, or it was something along those lines, which is disturbing.
Never mind. That's a mean joke. Never mind.
All right.
Oh, good question for you guys. Did you think, before you knew it, did you think the sister of what's his face?
Of John Candy.
No, the Brazilian sister.
Oh, the broad. Okay, yeah.
Did you originally think that was a sister or like girlfriend and wife?
Oh, okay, yeah. That is Bertilla Damas is the actress, and there's Ronaldo Scorsino or Scorsino. It's very confusing because initially you're like, are they a couple? And because the way the mannerisms they do doesn't seem like brother and sister, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
it was very like
it's very
they
like
switched.
This
like
is,
they switched halfway. Oh, this is my sister. Oh, okay, you guys have a very strange relationship.
well, now that just is messed up.
Going off of this, I just want to go over some of the notes I wrote down. So, seeing people smoke indoors, I mean, obviously it's the late 80s when they're filming this. In today's world, so weird to see.
Oh, yeah.
People smoking cigarettes inside.
Oh, yeah, they had ashtrays in the elevator, and that was another thing they noticed, the crew I was with. Elevator, there was an ashtray inside the elevator, and there was an ashtray right on the outside of the door.
That was definitely a timepiece film, seeing the different the different take. Like, obviously, the New York skyline is drastically different. The car... Oh, did you guys notice? This movie's 1991, and their car had GPS.
Yep, that's another thing I got there.
That I was like, that is odd.
Was that really a thing back in the early... Like, I mean, obviously, I'm assuming you had to be extremely rich if you had it.
Well, that's what I think they were kind of going off with the BMW that they had.
Yeah, and I actually have to do some research as to whether that is actually
for them to put it in a movie, though, it would have had to have been a thing. You know, like GPS isn't exactly. I mean, it's so obvious today, but it's like for them to put it in the movie and for it to act almost exactly like it does today. It's like it had to have been like just becoming a thing.
Oh yeah,
back then. Because just with the car phone, I remember those car phones, and like when you saw someone or someone's parents had that like car phone attached to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my
back
dad actually had one for his business, the business car growing up back in Jersey. That was way back in the day. But,
back in the day.
Yeah, I remember it was like somewhere around 8, but he definitely had that car phone attachment thing for his business.
That's crazy.
They actually sent him out with it. Yep. So that phone, when it came up, was like, oh, my dad had that.
Brings me, yeah. Well, I will say, character-wise, Dan Aykroyd's brother was in here. He was the doorman at the beginning.
And a driver, right?
Peter Aykroyd. So just a nice little family cameo there.
And I don't know if you noticed when they were driving down the Jersey Turnpike, no potholes on the road, and it was smooth.
Damn. Because it was brand new, wasn't it?
They probably haven't paid it. They probably haven't paved it since then.
That's terrible, but it's funny. Because it's true!
Well, do you guys have any closing remarks you'd like to get to?
Okay, let me go off of this. Ripley Goose, would you recommend watching this movie?
I'm kind of with the group you're watching it with. If you want to waste an hour and a half and you got like it's a perfect snow day movie, or if you just want to like watch something stupid for like Halloween season or something, sure, do it. Might as well. I mean, if you can get it for free, like on a streaming service, yeah, I see no reason why not to. But worth a repeat watch? Absolutely not.
Yeah, I think I used to watch it when I was younger and remember it being so weird, but I think you watch it once and you're like, you get visually scarred when you see the Bobo twins and wish maybe you hadn't seen that. But I still love oddity movies, so I think it's definitely worth watching once. But after that, I wouldn't really watch it multiple times again.
I concur with both of you on the one-time watch, and if you don't remember it, watch it at your own risk.
For sure.
Oh,
like, especially if you saw this like back in the early or late 90s, even. If it's been more than 10 years, like give it a watch and just see how poorly it's aged. That's always interesting to me, but
And
yeah.
if it's free.
Exactly.
Like, is it on
That's
free
the
on
key.
TV?
I had to pay $4 to watch the damn thing.
I will
400
say,
pennies too much.
I will say, if you guys didn't catch that audio snippet in the beginning of the film, that was supposed to be a hint as to what our next movie will be. Do either one of you know what movie that was from?
Death to
I don't.
Smoochie.
And that is supposed to be our next movie of choice for review.
I've never seen that actually, so
It's a good movie.
It's a great movie.
Dark
and with that,
comedy.
I think we'll let Goose, you want to send us off?
absolutely. Well, thank you guys guys and gals, and just thanks for listening. We've had a good time. I hope you had a good time, and just remember, at the end of the day, we're all idiots. Come see us next time.